We almost had it, you guys. We were this close to having it. This is a full spoiler video. Just if you have not seen the movie, don't watch this. Or if you just want to know, like, I'm a physical media channel. I talk physical media. I don't really do these movie reviews of new movies. I felt really passionate about this after seeing it. I really did. And I'm starting to realize the power of marketing. And I'm starting to see that as a red flag. Because the marketing for Alien Romulus was absolutely amazing. The multiple different popcorn buckets, the posters, the stuff you see, the advertisement, the VHS thing, it's like they killed this. And I'm starting to see that as maybe a red flag. As like, okay, all this cool shit to make up for a movie that's probably not going to be that good. And I have so many problems with this movie. Now not everything is bad. Fetty, I feel like, is an amazing director. Like, visually, so like Evil Dead the remake is probably one of my favorite Evil Dead movies. Like, one of my favorite horror movies of the past 10 years. Like, I love it. Don't Breathe was creative and dope as hell. So I was excited for this movie. And I'm mostly going to talk about what issues I have with the movie, and most of it has to do with the cast. Let's just start with the cast. So remember the initial Alien movie that Ridley Scott did in 1970? Was it 1979? It was truckers in space. Now we get TikTokers in space, essentially. And like, there was a moment with one of these characters. There was a scene that just completely, I'm like, are you serious right now? So there's a scene which is one of the dopest scenes in the movie until this moment. Like you had it. You were at the finish line, and I'm like, really? Really? And the guy didn't even die in this scene. So there's this like don't breathe moment in the movie where they have to be very quiet and sneak through this hallway of face crawlers. They have to be really quiet, show no fear, almost don't breathe, don't sweat. They specifically say don't sweat. And they have to be as quiet as they can as they walk through this room full of creepy face crawlers, because they had to boost the heat for the body temperature in the scene. So it was like building up. This is dope. This is a dope set piece. And then halfway through the scene, they're almost to the finish line. And one of the characters, one of the white male characters, one of the British guys, his phone rings, essentially, like his little walkie-talkie thing. And guess what he does? In normal movies, people would be like, oh shit, shh, turn it off. Nope, he answered it. Like, hey guys, stop. Hello? Hey, answer me. And they're like, people turn around like, shut the fuck up. I'm sitting there like, did he really just answer the phone? Like, face crawler 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go get him. Oh my god! I was like, you didn't just answer your phone right now, or your little walkie thing. And then there's this awesome chase scene which they get away. I'm like, you should have had 10 face crawlers on you, like right there, bro. It was like a what was it? Don't Breathe / a Quiet Place moment. It just I didn't like so there's 6 characters in the movie. We follow 6 teenagers. 3 of them are dope. Or 2 of them are dope. The main chick, Rain, who's kind of like the Ripley character, she is amazing in this. Perfect casting. Perfect at, like, she killed this role. The dude who played Andy, I really liked him. He's the black android. I loved their brother-sister relationship, and it made sense because it was like, it didn't feel forced. It was just like, he's an android, and the parents, found him in a scrapyard and kind of programmed him to be like her protector. So she's always grown up with him as a brother figure. And at the beginning of the movie, he's kind of like, he's in this very childlike state. And because later he gets an upgrade and he becomes kind of an evil robot, and then he comes back down. So it reminded me a little bit of David and Prometheus when he went, but he was always had bad intent. But by the end, you kind of feel bad for him when she picks up the head and puts it in and everything. But I really liked his character arc, because he started off very innocent and naive, and then he gets his massive upgrade, and he's like kind of a dick and kind of the bad guy, and then he kind of gets reprogrammed and he's back to being that character. I love that. But and then they had Isabella. I don't know her name. Isabella. Hold on. Is it Isabella Merced? Is that how you pronounce her name? Probably the biggest name actress in this movie. She was Dora the Explorer. She was in Transformers movie. Sicario. She's basically in so many movies. I'm not saying she's a lead, but she's the only name actress. And they did nothing with her. They did absolutely nothing with her. Her whole role was to be pregnant and to maybe have 3 lines of dialogue in the whole movie. And to give birth to that whatever CGI monster thing at the end, with which we'll get to. But how do you waste Isabella Merced like that? And I think I'm pronouncing her last name wrong. If I'm not, you can correct me in the comments. It's just a waste. And then you had this you had the Asian one who was, she's on the poster, the one with the face hugger. Love that poster. Hate it now after watching the movie, and I'm like, I don't want to look at that character. She's this like very modern, like she's a girl, but she's kind of a boy. She's, general neutral kind of thing. She's tough and cocky. She's one of the dudes. But then when it actually comes to the alien shit, she just quickly turns to a female and gets all scared and everything, and is like, don't open the door. Don't open the door. I'm like, you're supposed to be this badass cocky chick. And you're like, I'm like, I don't know. I didn't really like her character that much. I didn't like her being the cocky one, and then she was there for explanation, like she knew everything. And the worst character on this was so there's 2 English brothers. There's kind of the lead, who's kind of the one I was talking about, who answered his phone earlier. He's kind of he's not that bad of a character. He just had that really stupid moment. But his brother, the one in the trailer who's like, there's some in the water. There's some in the water.
Oh, there's just something in the fucking water.
Like that guy? Did not like his character at all. And that whole scene where it's like you think they're spoiling it in the trailer and a facehugger comes against him, he doesn't die there. He doesn't die for another 20-30 minutes into the movie. Did not like his character at all. And I know there's a lot of UK-based followers on my channel, so what accent was that? Like, because I feel like the brothers had 2 different like, there was like the Wales, there was like the Cockney brother, and then the proper like they're 2 totally different sides of England. And then their sister is Isabella Merced, who's Hispanic and doesn't talk in an English accent at all. So I'm confused by that. But I'm like, is it they're all in a colony in space? So do they just pick their own families? I wish they would have just made that clear, or else you got to like put that together, because the main chick Rain has her brother who's an android who's black, which that makes total sense in how they did it. But the 2 English guys who are brothers, and then the Isabella Merced who's like, don't tell my brothers, I'm like, she only has that one line, and it kind of started like, wait, they're your brothers? But you never really know. I don't know. But I hated that character. It was kind of like having, and I didn't understand him. It was kind of like having Mickey from Snatch in there.
Fuck, man. Call me Mickey.
It's not Irish. It's not English.
How are you? Fair, what has been kind for the horses,
It's just pikey.
I felt like I understood Mickey more than I understood the way this character was talking. Did not like that character. But let's get into a few things I also didn't like about the movie. They didn't work for me. Spoilers, they brought Ash back, which initially I thought was dope. Like, you see him on the floor, and you recognize his suit or his wardrobe, and you're like, "Oh, that's Ash," you know? And I think that it would have been better if they had maybe done it a little bit more subtly, but no, they went full, plugged him back in, and that actor who died in 2020 is back. Like, that's a total Disney thing to do right now, is to bring dead people back to life in these, which it almost worked. Like, there's a wide shot where he's, like, half in shadow, and at first I'm like, are they really gonna use, like, the rope? Like, are they gonna puppeteer it? Are they gonna, you know? And then they get to the close-up of him talking, and it is a very long scene of him talking, and I don't know what they used. I don't know if it was, like, AI, CGI mixed with, what's that term? That face swap stuff, the AI, it did not work for me, like, because they filmed him in this, like, half shadow from far, and it looked very realistic, and you hear him talking, and they cut to the close-up, and it's this bright fill light on his face, and it did not work with him talking. It took me out of the movie. It was very uncanny valley. Like, I believe what's his name, is it General Tarkin, from Rogue One. I feel like that AI was way better. This was like Princess Leia at the end of that when she talks. Like, it just did not, it was worse than that. It did not work for me. But I appreciate them doing it, or the idea of it, but I don't like the execution of it. And then he became like a main character in the movie. He is like basically the villain throughout the movie. I'm like, why would you bring him back? Which I get kind of why they did, but why not bring Ripley back? And I get this movie takes place in between the first one and the second one, so Ripley is still basically in cryosleep or whatever, but like, why not bring Sigourney, like, make the story where you can bring her back instead of Ash? I forgot to mention, I don't know if anybody else is going to mention this. You see the world's biggest vagina in this movie. You do. You do. So, we've never, which I do give them credit for, it was a really cool scene. But I'm just like, is that a vagina? Is that? And then it's like, oh, yeah, that's a vagina. So you've always seen kind of the alien birth scene, the chest burst scene. We see it, the face hugger implant the seed, and then it is born through the chest, and then the little thing runs off and then becomes a big alien later. We never see that in between phase. Well, we see it here. They walk up to this kind of cocoon on the wall with this like vagina thing, and so I'm gonna call him Mickey, the guy who I don't like, or there's something in the water scene guy. He comes up with this like alien, or this futuristic laser thing, taser, and just starts like probing the shit out of it. And I'm like, that's very phallic. But I mean, it's Alien, and the Alien, everything, Giger, H.R. Giger is very phallic with his artwork. But I mean, he is the shit out of the thing, and then they think it's dead, and then you see this, and then you see it open up, and you see the big alien head being birthed through this thing. I'm not saying that was a bad scene. I'm just saying you see the world's biggest vagina in this movie, essentially, which is a cocoon. It's not like an actual being birthed from a another alien. Not like in, what was it, Alien, the one with the queen, and she's got that big sack where she's giving birth. Totally different. This is a lot more subjective and suggestive. But I really like that scene. But before I get to the one thing I really hate, one thing that was really cool, which was the scene where they had to get away from all the aliens and they put it into zero gravity, and with all the acid around, it was like, that was kind of cool. I really like that set piece. But let's get to the end, which was really like, really, really, guys. So Isabella Mercado, like I said, she's pregnant the whole movie, and she gets captured. And of course, you kind of know she's pregnant from the moment at the beginning of the movie where she says she's pregnant. You know that baby's gonna have an important piece throughout the movie. Like, they're not just gonna kill the pregnant chick. Well, no, she gives birth to probably the worst thing in any of the Alien franchises. Like, remember, was it Alien Resurrection? Was it the third one or the fourth one where they had the alien Sigourney Weaver hybrid thing? This was way worse than that. That one actually looked like an alien. They went full humanoid with this thing, which the one thing I never understood was you have the xenomorph, which to me is one of the coolest looking alien designs ever. Like, I bet aliens in outer space would come to Earth and be like, damn, I'd be scared of that thing, because that thing is cool and scary. And they threw those away. And so the third act is this: she gives birth to this Slender Man, Avatar, alien thing mixed with like the face. So it had like the face of one of the creators of Prometheus, but this long, slender body, and it was tall like an avatar, human flesh colored with a tail, and then it had these little like teeth, like the what do you call it? Like the little thing that like the chest burster, you know, I just got these little metal teeth. It had that, and then it's crawling and all. I'm like, really? I didn't like the design of it, and the reason that really just didn't work for me is because you have this cool alien design with the big head, and then you completely throw that out for this humanoid one. And I think the one thing that bugs me, because I love Prometheus, I know I'm in a small club, I absolutely love Prometheus, and one of my favorite scenes in any alien movie is the very end, when, remember that big alien octopus thing took the creator and like basically impregnated itself in him, and then at the very end you get this brand new alien with this like alien head, but it had more of a human body, but it still had that alien head. This was like the opposite. This was like in Alien Romulus, it was like, we're gonna take the alien body but give it a human head, and we're gonna make it flesh colored. Like, nah, it didn't work for me. Did not work for me. I can't think of anything else I really didn't like. It was really just those main 3 points. But I really wanted this movie to be good. Like, I really, really was fighting for this movie to be good. And it was one of those things I left the theater thinking, I have to see it a second time. Now that I know what the movie is, I need to see it a second time. Because I've done that with movies before, where the first viewing in the theater I left, like, I didn't like that. And then I'll see it later down the line, and I'll be like, okay, it's better. It's better. And I will see this a second time. Just to know if it was like that first screening. But I don't think it'll be any different, because usually with the movies I don't like the first time, it's like a story thing or something I just found boring, but the more I watch it, I'm like, okay, I understand what they were going for here or something. The problem with me is the Ash part did not work. Like, just CGI throws, like, visually I see it and it does not work. I would rather a puppet, an animatronic. You know, it's 2024. We can do that now, I think. I mean, I don't know. Or at least, I don't know. I just don't think it was good. And then that alien creature thing at the end just did not work for me. But I really, really like Rain's character in this movie. She killed it. Like, I looked up her other stuff. I haven't seen Civil War yet. Shout out to Frank, from Frank's Medium Reviews. He graciously gave me the code for Civil War. I have not watched it yet, but I will be checking that out now after seeing this movie, because I really liked her character. And she's also in Priscilla, and which I love. Sofia Coppola. She's hit or miss for me, and I have not seen that movie, but I will see that movie now because of her character in this. And I still have faith in Fede Alvarez. Like I said, Evil Dead and Don't Breathe hold so much weight for me that I'll give anything he does a chance. I was kind of disappointed in this. But what do you guys think? Like, I know there's a lot of people who will love this movie, and I've been seeing recently people who just don't like this movie, and I'm in that camp of I'm disappointed. And it made me realize I really miss movies with middle-aged characters who are competent. Like, I'm all for teen movies. Like, I'm all for it. But I miss older characters who have common sense. And it's storytelling. That's really what it is. And part of me feels like watching this movie, I was confused through a lot of this movie. Like that whole opening scene where they go and they get something and then they leave the show. Like, what did they get? They never go back to that. Really, I don't think they do. Or I was just confused through a lot of it. That's what I'm saying. I may have to watch it again. Because some of it was a little bit confusing. And I'm trying to follow along. Like, I'm watching, like, why am I not connecting with this? It was like, I was 10 minutes in, and I'm like, why am I not connecting with this yet? But I'm hoping it got better. And it has some amazing set pieces. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's my rant. That's my review. Take it for what you will. I don't know if I'm going to do many of these, like, fresh out the theater things. Because, like I said, I want my channel to be a physical media channel. I just really felt passionate about this. And I had to sit in the chair and... Ugh, to you guys. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.